One thing I would like people to, I would suggest highly that you do this just because I'm going to potentially be asking you questions about maps. So I want you to be used to using a map. So I'm creating a map as an instance variable, okay? And notice I'm creating a map. The variable is named door state map. And it is a map from car door, which is an enum type, to door state, which is also an enum type. Okay, so let's look at car door. Car door is driver, passenger, rear driver, and rear passenger. And door state is open or closed. Okay, so this might be a little bit overkill, but I think it's a good way to learn how to use these maps, and specifically enum maps. Enum maps are just, they're maps in which the key is an enum type. Okay, so essentially I've declared a map here, and I've called it door state map. And I'm initializing things in my constructor. Okay, my current message is empty. My current location is home, just location.home. And again, location is an enum type. Okay. And is running is false, has driver is false, current gear is gear park. This is all code that I'm writing, that I have written. Okay. It might not be in the starter code, but this is code you should write too. You should initialize all your instance variables in the constructor. And now this is interesting. This is where I'm initializing my door state map to an enum map. I'm initializing it with a new enum map. And an enum map is just, if you have an enum as your key, it's the fastest way to access it. It's just a performance thing. It will quickly enable you to access things, when you give it a key, okay, to access the value, okay, because that's what a map is. It's just a mapping from keys to values. Now, in a new map, you have to tell it what your key is, okay, and my key is a car door, and you have to put the word .class in here because you just can't pass a class name as a parameter. I think this is kind of weird. I mean, just because, look, if you're saying that door state map, it already knows that door state map is a map from car doors to door state. It already knows that car door is the key, and you're having to tell it that again, so it's a little bit redundant in my opinion, but that's just the way it is. Okay, you have to put that in there. It's going to be redundant. All right, and then what happens here after I initialize my door state map? After I initialize that, I have to put key value pairs into my map. Okay, and I do that as with any map with the put method. So I'm saying door state map dot put, and then the first argument is the key, and the second argument is the value. And look what I'm doing here. I'm basically going over all the different key values. Okay, I have 4 different key values: driver, passenger, rear driver, and rear passenger. And I'm saying these all map to closed. All right, so that just means all the doors are initially closed. All right, the car is locked initially. Let's see, do I have it is locked here? Is running. Current location is home. is running. Oh, and I'm not using is locked. So before is running, I think I'm gonna put is locked equals true. I want the car to be locked initially. Okay. All right. That looks good. And I think these are in yellow because I never use them. Is assigned but never accessed. Okay, well, we're going to access all of this stuff, so I'm not worried about that. And then I declare the new map, and then I set all the doors, all 4 of the doors, to a state of closed. All right. And my question is, do I have methods in the interface to check if those doors are closed and to change the state of those doors? Okay, so let me look at that. Let me look at the car interface. Is locked. That's just a search term. I'm gonna, let's see, where are my door methods? I've got closed door, so this is a mutator on those doors. I've got open door, it's a mutator. And do I have is open that takes a door? Because I would need that. Okay, doesn't look like I have an is open there. I have mutators for that. Where are my, oh, here are my accessors. Is locked, so I have is locked on the car accessor. If I have is, oh, here it is open, car door. Okay, so there is an is open. All right, fantastic. So let's go ahead and look at how we implement open, okay, the open method, and how we implement is open, okay, because that's going to use our map. All right, so let's go to my car. Let's go here, and I'm going to find open. Okay, so this is telling me to open the car door. All right, and the initial part of this is going to be do some checks. All right, and this is going to be how these mutators are implemented in general. Do some checks and update current if you know, checks fail. So basically, like, to open a door, it has to be unlocked first. Okay, so basically, if the door is locked, then you're not going to be able to open it yet. All right, so you have to report that as a message. All right. So if checks are successful, that means if it passes all its checks, then open the door. You know, do what it says. Open the door. And it's highlighted because I'm searching for open. So how do I open the door? That's what I want you to understand. I open the door by it's a specific door, right? It's a specific door determined by the car door enum type. Okay, So I don't need to know explicitly what this is called, what this holds at runtime. All I know is that the secret of which door it is saved and stored in that variable. All right. So if I want to open the door, I have to do the door state map, and the way you modify a value in a map is the same way you install a new value, a new key value pair in a map. It's through the put method. Okay, so I say put, okay, and I say I want to map the door, the parameter door, okay, whichever one that I was given as a parameter. I want to map that to the open state. Okay, so here I'm going to explicitly put door state, and you can see I can put DS, and it's giving me hints in IntelliJ. Door state closed, door state open. So I want door state open. So I'm going to say I'm going to remap the door that you're giving me to open. Okay, to having the open state. So that's how you're going to use a map. All right. And then I want to update current message with a success message. I'm going to call the success messages OK message just because it's it's shorter, it's easier to type. Okay, update the current state with OK message. Do some checks. I'm going to do, like, for example, I'll just say is door already open? I'll just say if door already open, current message is the current message will be something like open already. Actually, I think that might that one might be that one might actually be a method. Let me see a message. Open already. All right, let me just find this. Open already. Open underscore already. Okay, so it's not a constant. It's actually open. It's actually a method. Open, maybe it's open door already. Okay, there it is. Door. Oh, it's not open door already. It's just door already. So a little bit confusing, but you know, you have to understand these messages. So door already takes the car door and the state. So it's basically just I'm consolidating the message that says the door is already open closed, and then you know this is the type of door. So let me just show you. This is a good example because it is a little bit confusing. So is current message is door already that takes the door you're passing in. Okay, the door that's being passed in here. And since this is the open action, the door is already open. So we do door state open. All right, I'm going to get rid of this open. All right, so the main thing is, well, I guess there are two main things. I wanted you to understand how to use the methods in messages, and I want you to understand how to use the map. Okay. The put method in map. So one more thing, I'm going to do the is-open. Let me search for is-open here. Okay, so is-open, I just have return false just so it will compile, but that needs to be implemented. Okay. So let me just see. How do we implement that? We implement that by going to the map again. Okay. So basically, you're going to check the map, door state map, and then you're going to get the value based on the door that's being passed in. Okay. So this value is a state. So I'm going to say door state, and you know, and when I start typing something, IntelliJ gives me like commonsensical variable names. Okay, do you want to call it door state state, or do you want to call it door state? Do you want to be more explicit? So I'm just going to call. I'm going to go with the explicit. I'm going to call it door state, and I'm going to say door state equals door state map dot get door. So I'm passing in the key, and it's returning the value. All right, I'm passing in the key, and it is returning the value. So what do I actually want to return here? I want to return if the door is open, I want to return true. Okay, so if door state, I'm going to do this the long way, and then I'm going to talk about a shorter way to do this. If the door state is door state open, return true. Otherwise, there's only two states it can be in. Okay, I'm going to pretend that we're being careful and we're never putting the door state entering null as the state of something. And then otherwise return false. Whoops. Where's the L on my keyboard? I've lost it. Okay, false. And I'm put return there. So I'm just going to say this. Return false, semicolon, and then I've got this return false. So I'm going to squeeze this down into, I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to squeeze this down and use a ternary operator. So basically, I'm going to say return check what the door state is. And I can't do this easily. Let me see if I can, that even makes sense. I guess I cannot. Yeah, I can return. So to use a ternary operator, you have to check the condition inside here. And then if true, you get one value, and then you do a colon. And if false, you return another value. So what do I want to check? I want to check if the door state is open. So I'm just going to use this door state map.getDoor. So door state map dot get door, and if that is door state open, okay, so if this is true, if door state map get door is door state open, then I want to return something. Before the thing before the semicolon is what I return if this is true. So I'm going to return true. So all I need to say is true. I don't need to say return. Well, I don't want to say return true because I already have the return statement here. Okay. And then false. Okay. So that's using the ternary operator, but I realize that, look, if this is true, then I'm returning true. If this is false, then I'm returning false. So if this evaluates to true, I'm returning true. If this evaluates to false, then I'm returning false. Well, I can shrink this even further, and I can say, whoops, let me get that back. I can simply say what? I'll give you 5 seconds to pause the video and see if we can shrink this even further. Okay, if you got this, congratulations. I'm just going to say return. I'm just going to return this. Whatever that evaluates to, that's what I'm returning. Okay. Return the result of this evaluation. So if the door is open, the result of this evaluation is true. If the door is closed, the result of this evaluation is false. All right. So that's what I'm returning. So is open. So I've got all this baloney here that I don't need anymore. And that's it. That's the whole thing. So you can see how I'm using the map. I've just got a single line there. Isn't that cool? I think that's really awesome. Because I didn't know it was going to work out that easy. So anyway, so that gives you an idea of how to use the map. You use get and put. Okay, so put is basically a setter for a map, and get is a getter. It's an accessor. Okay.